Assalamualaikum and good day to everyone. My name is Siti Sarah binti Hazani and my metric number is 280818. I will be presenting introduction and case background. The goal of e-service learning are: first, give students a chance to practice civic involvement skills. Secondly, students can improve their group, organizational, and interpersonal abilities by collaborating with community members. And lastly, students can obtain valuable experience working with a variety of people in their areas. We aim to assist Mr. Faisal in running a successful firm in the future by providing him with the necessary budgeting expertise. A budget will help a company to be better prepared for big capital expenditures and will assist in the identification of new investment opportunities. If Mr. Faisal intends to take his company to the next level, Mr. Faisal will be better prepared to oversee higher capital expenditure. While doing the interview, we discovered that Mr. Faisal is having difficulty recording all of the transactions that occur in his business. Mr. Faisal received no proper disclosure about it. It will be difficult for him to refer to some data when a problem arises, such as when calculating the expenses were involved. Mr. Faisal also lacked proof of the sales order. If a company does not have a proper sales order, it will have a difficult time making educated forecasts and purchasing from its distributors. As a service provider, this is a must to provide the best service possible to customers. We should maintain a great relationship with our customer because it is unlikely that his customer will recommend Mr. Faisal business to his close relative or their friends. It will help Mr. Faisal business grow even more. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Shazwani binti Aziz, my metric number 280574. Now, I will present about the operating issue and the solution that we came up with. Firstly, the operating issue. We already interviewed Encik Faisal, the owner of Bengkel Faisal, and asked him how he managed his business financial and budgeting. Surprisingly, he said that he did not record the sales transaction and all the transaction he made with the customer, no supplier. So, this action made him difficult in first place to check the data and make budgeting plan in the future. So, we came up with solution to help him with making a platform for him to record all the transaction appropriately and organizingly using an Excel document. We prepared the receipt, sales, and purchase and expenses template for him. First, as you can see, there is an example of receipt template that we prepare. This receipt is useful as the proof of the transaction that he will make in the future. He have to write the date of the transaction, when he sold the goods and services, customer name, what he sold, payment method, whether cash or online transfer banking, and the amount he received. Then he have to print it out with 2 copies, which 1 copy give to customer and the other one he need to keep it in one file. Then the amount he have to record in sales report manually. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Shahida Fadlin binti Abdullah. My metric number is 280052 and I will be presenting purchases and expenses sheet and also sales target calendar. Other than sales sheet, we also do purchases and expenses sheet. He need to key in all the expenses transaction every time he did, such as date, supplier name, what he bought, payment method, and the amount that he paid. The sheet is very important for Encik Faizal to avoid overspending on the expenses and purchases. When he buys the material, he need to ask from the supplier for the invoice or receipt and keep it in the file so that he can make references in the future for a purpose of financial budgeting. If he cannot request any kind of receipt or invoice from the supplier, he still need to key in the transaction immediately in order to avoid the transaction being left out. The reason the purchases and expenses are put together under one table is due to make it as simple as possible to be understood by Encik Faizal. The owner can record any cash out transactions in one table, so he does not need to differentiate between the purchases of inventory and also the expenses. The fourth is sales target calendar. This sales target calendar is very useful for Encik Faizal to keep track of his day-to-day sales. He will need to put his sales target for that month. An example of sales target for December is RM2000. As for the daily sales, he can manually key in his sales data for the day, and there will be a calculation automatically to show the percentage of the sales achieved based on the monthly target. There will also a pie chart which can be a visualization of the total percentage of sales and purchases.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Nordiana binti Faizal. My metric number is 280790. I would like to provide you with our discussion and identified weaknesses discussed in section C above. There are no quotations that have been made by our groups in Excel. These quotations is easier for Encik Faizal as a seller to deal with his customers. A quotation is a document issued by a seller to a buyer to provide products or services at a set price and under specific terms and conditions. This can ensure that both Encik Faizal and his clients are clear on the job's needs, what's included, and how much it will cost. Following the recognized sales flows outlined in section C above that our group have prepared in Excel, it is easy for Encik Faizal to track down his customers when they place purchases or call for account information. For the purposes of order processing, tracking, and customer account management, each of his customers' account is allocated as a customer ID. The customer ID will include information such as their address, email address, or phone number, making it easy for Encik Faizal to distinguish his consumers. He could also simply locate the file of his previous clients and there will be no double file for a single consumer. It is easier for Encik Faizal since he deals with his customer using mobile phone, since mobile phone usually have a small storage. And with that, I thank you and I will pass this to next presenter.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Shatira binti Muhammad Jeffrey. My matrix number is 288880. I would like to present about the last weakness that has been identified in section C, which is time consumption. As a business owner and someone who is working alone, Encik Faizal must have a lot of things to do by himself. He will face time constraints since he needs to fill in the report in section C manually. In addition, staring at his phone for a long time to update the report will lead to headache and eye fatigue. Instead of Encik Faizal has to fill in the document manually by his phone, there is a solution that we can try. This solution or improvement will make things easier for Encik Faizal, where he will spend less time to record all the transactions in the Excel document.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jadi pada hari ini, saya Siti Nordiana binti Faizal selaku wakil kumpulan IC Nicey bagi projek jurusan pengurusan perakaunan pelajar Universiti Utara Malaysia akan menemu bual Encik Faizal iaitu seorang ahli perniagaan yang mereka bentuk dan menjual pelbagai jenis pagar rumah. Jadi soalan pertama saya, Reka bentuk produk yang mana menjadi kegemaran pelanggan?
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Reka bentuk produk terkini menjadi kegemaran pelanggan, contohnya grill jenis sliding, stainless steel dan raw iron.
Adakah cara pembayaran melalui tunai atau perbankan?
Pada masa kini, kebiasaannya pelanggan akan menggunakan pembayaran secara online banking kerana cara pembayaran ini lebih mudah dan pantas.
Adakah Encik terima bayaran awal atau hanya menerima bayaran penuh?
Ya, saya akan menerima bayaran awal terlebih dahulu sebagai wang pendahuluan sebelum menghasilkan produk untuk pelanggan.
In conclusion, Encik Faizal has encountered an issue when he didn't properly record all the transactions that incurred in his business and he didn't have the proof of sales. As a result, we have prepared a full set of documents for Encik Faizal to record all the transactions that incurred in his business in Excel, such as sales, purchases and expenses, receipt, and sales target calendar. However, there are some flaws that has been discovered in the Excel document, such as there is no quotation prepared for the customer and it is time consuming for Encik Faizal to record all the transactions manually. So we came up with the news idea where Encik Faizal just have to copy the data and paste it into the Excel document, so it will automatically fill in the right column. We expect our efforts will give benefit to Encik Faizal business, and we hope that Encik Faizal will be more successful in the future. Thank you.